We can get started with Spencer. Second race win here at Heartland Park, Topeka. The first one back in 2011. Fifth in 8 races for DSR and Top Fuel this season. As much as JFR has been taking care of Funny Car, you guys have been getting the job done. Well, let's talk about today. Last week's was a highlight-filled, wild, crazy final round. This one looked much calmer, but your crew chief says it was every bit as much of a struggle.
It was a struggle from running Tony Schumacher and every round since. It was one of those things where we kept trying to get the car to perform like everybody else, trying to get the car to run a 70. And the car just wouldn't do it. We keep giving it more clutch, then give it more motor, and then give it more clutch again, give it more motor again. And it kept running an 86, and then it ran an 87. I came back to Phil before the finals. I said, am I going to put like a dial in on it and dial an 86 like a bracket car? And he goes, no, if we do that, you're going to break out. But then I went back to him, I said, hold on. Remember, the sun's out, just like the run before. Don't beat ourselves. Let's get out there and go down the track and let them try and beat us. If I can do my job on the start line, get 100-2 on the tree, hopefully it'll get the round win, and it paid off. I mean, it only went at 87. We were trying to run at 83, and it only went at 87, but it still got the win light.
How important is it, not just to your team, but to all of DSR, to keep all Anabi down and not let them build any momentum?
It's something that really makes Don happy. It really makes Phil and Todd happy, and it really makes myself happy. I mean, when you can take down someone like Alan Johnson, it doesn't matter who's driving the car. When you can beat Alan Johnson's race car, that's saying something, and especially when you have Sean Langdon in the seat that cuts great lights. And you have everybody over there that makes championship caliber team, and whenever you can stop them from winning a race, that's just what you want. That's what you want every time you line up there in the final round against an Alan Hobby car.
When we come up here planning to run 7 races in 8 weeks, and you get on a roll, there's no better time to do that.
You're exactly right. Whenever you get your momentum going, it seems to just start clicking. Everything falls in place. I like these races that's back to back to back. I drive my motor coach to all the races. It gives me time to breathe and have a good time going down there, going to each race. And whenever we get there, it's just one of those things to where I'm ready to do it again. And when the summer months are coming along and it's getting hot, that's kind of our tune-up. That's our weather. I like it.
Spencer, in the second round, I think you had a tire get severely damaged. Did you guys determine what caused that?
We really couldn't figure out why, and it happened right as soon as I got to the finish line and took my foot off the pedal and hit the chute. I started feeling a real bad vibration, and that's exactly what I knew what it was. It was a tire coming apart, and I was sitting there just ready to steer whichever way I needed to as soon as whichever one did come apart. And luckily, thank the Lord, it stayed together, but it was a lot of rubber that was missing off that tire, and it could have been a whole lot worse.
Yeah, one little rock and that would have been bad.
It would have been like Antron's deal.
Did you shut it off before the finish line?
Not on that run. I actually had a situation yesterday in qualifying where I did the burnout, and I felt a real bad vibration, and it felt like something wrong with the wheels or with the tires. And so backing up, of course, I don't have a radio. I can't pop the hatch open and tell Phil or Scotty or Todd, hey, there's something wrong. And all they would tell me anyway is drive it as far as you feel comfortable. So I got up there thinking, okay, I'm going to drive it as far as I can until stuff starts getting dangerous. I stood on the gas, and from 3:30 on, the vibration started getting worse, and that 8th mile, I could hardly see. And so at that point, and plus I'm sitting there with my finger on the chute button, waiting for a tire to blow out so I can hit the chutes. Now that's not what you're supposed to do. You're not supposed to be thinking about that when you're driving a top fuel dragster. And just after I thought about that, made it past 8th mile, I said, you know what? No sense in taking a chance. And I shut it off early. And there was actually nothing wrong with the tire. We couldn't find anything really wrong with anything. And we changed it all last night, got out there first round, smooth as silk.
So it's just an isolated thing, you believe?
I believe so. And it had nothing to do with the tire itself. I mean, it had nothing to do with Goodyear. It wasn't a part that got into it. It's just something that sometimes when they spray these tracks really, really well with VHT and get them really sticky, sometimes it wants to try and unwind at the finish line and try and rip apart a little bit. And it's something that happens. It's happened plenty of other times in the past, just not here recently. It's never happened to me. Hopefully it never happens again. Party on, Wayne.
What about the motorhome? The fire with the what happened there?
Well, last week we won Atlanta, and we had a big fireball in the final round. Caught everything on fire. I get here, we set up on Wednesday or Thursday, go back to the motorhome that night, open up the motorhome door, and there's smoke rolling out of it. There's fire. It's not good. And my generator is mounted down below in a compartment, and it was actually on fire. And if I would have been 5 minutes late, my whole motor coach would have been burned to the ground. Luckily, the fire extinguisher is sitting right there. I put the fire out and found out what the problem was on the generator. It was a glow plug that stuck on that heated up the rubber tubing that actually caught it all on fire. So it's safe now. It's all put out. Nothing's wrong with it. The moral of the story is, does that mean I have to catch on fire before an event to win a race? Or I don't want to do that. So luckily, it's okay, though.
Could have been a bad omen, but it was a good omen.
Yes, sir. And usually this is how it always works. I know it's kind of weird, kind of dumb. If I have a problem with my motorhome before an event, we win the race.
So you were actually hot before you won your second.
Oh, trust me, I was hot. And my motorhome was hot.
We're thinking he's the luckiest unlucky guy around.
And that was here, Spencer, after you already got here?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay.
Thursday night.
Okay.
And that's a wrap.
Yeah.
Where was it, Denver?